afternoon, everyone. My name is Rima, and today I will persuade you guys to travel abroad. Now, before I begin, I want to ask you guys a question. How many of you have traveled outside of the United States? Wow, a lot more than I was expecting, which is good. Now, with regards to traveling, I'll be talking about the benefits such as learning about culture, getting out of your comfort zone, and a new perspective. Now, culture is unique no matter where you are, whether you are here or in China. One benefit of traveling abroad is that you get a taste of the country's different cultures. So, in other words, you learn more about that country. You can learn about their customs or even what music they listen to. I remember when I was in India, I got to listen to a lot of their music, which is definitely different than here because it's more upbeat and generally a lot more happier. And according to explore.org, traveling abroad enables you to remember more about your journey. It's different from learning about it in school because at school you're learning about it via lecture or a history book. That doesn't sound so exciting, isn't it? But traveling abroad lets you remember more about your journey, whether you are, it lets you remember like the small details of it, like where you were at, what you were wearing, or what people said to you. Now that we've covered culture, let's discuss comfort zone. Now with comfort zone, it gives you a break from the everyday, boring life, and it's good to try new things. By getting out of your comfort zone, we grow as individuals. Statistics from the University of California show that those who traveled abroad not only learned about culture, but an aspect of their personality improved. Most notably, it was openness. So in other words, getting out of your comfort zone leaves you open to try new things, and therefore, you will be like enlightened as an individual. An interesting fact is that traveling stimulates your brain, so your brain works harder to process unfamiliar surroundings. In other words, you're learning without even realizing it. Now, how cool is that? I remember back when I was little, I went with my dad to China. Now, going to China was definitely a big change because I wasn't used to their food or the language, and over time I got used to it. We stayed for at least 2 weeks there. Not only that, but I tried their food, which is totally different from how we try it here in America. And going to China was definitely an eye-opening experience because I got to learn their language. And now their language is definitely hard at first because it's definitely faster, and I never really learned how to speak Chinese, but I still managed to have a good time. And now that we've covered comfort zone and culture, let's discuss perspective. Okay. Now, traveling abroad gives you a different point of view about the country you're learning about. In a book called Home and Away by T. Oatley, the author notes that what you see as a traveler will challenge your beliefs you previously had about the country. I remember when I was going to Istanbul, Turkey with my dad, and what I saw weren't bombings or shootings or people getting beaten up on the street. I saw people holding hands, laughing together, and not only that, I got to have a conversation with like a group of Turkish girls, which was really cool because I got to learn where they came from, what school they went to, and what they want to do in their lives. Which is definitely opening to me because, you know, when you watch CNN or any other news site, what you see on the media doesn't give an accurate presentation of the country you're learning about, which ultimately doesn't really help you learn about that country because there's so much more to it. And unfortunately, countries are usually in the media whether they have bad news or natural disasters. But don't let that prevent you from what could be a lifetime experience. And with that, I encourage you to step out of your comfort zone, go on an adventure. Now, despite what I've told you, you may not agree. You might say, but we already have places that we could travel to here for a lot less time and money. Which is true, we do have a lot of Italian restaurants, Mexican restaurants, and Japanese restaurants, but those don't give you a real feeling of the actual country. And with that that in mind, I urge you to go outside and travel abroad. Thank you very much.